Now that I've got my pillow foam, I need something to go on it, like a cover of some sort, you know, like those cushion covers that you can get. Anyway, I want it to be removable because I will spill things on it because I'm me. Basically what I'm going to do is have this thing open at the top, and for my material I'm going to use a gingham shirt. I'm going to pause me right here. It's been pointed out to me that this is not gingham. I don't know why I got it into my head that it is. The word tartan has been floated and disagreed with. Either way, this has caused arguments, and I apologise for past me who will unfortunately keep referring to this as gingham, even though it's not. Gingham shirt. The seams are starting to go on it, so before I completely out of it, I thought I would salvage the material because I like gingham and I think it will make a really nice cover. This is a bit of a do as I say, not do as I do, because the material is very fine. Can you see my hand through it? I don't know if you can. A minute, if I do this. Can you see my phone through it? You can't, can you? Okay, well that's not worked. Either way, I can see daylight through it. The most basic way I've seen to do this is basically to cut out a rectangle, but because this is a shirt with not many straight sides, I'm actually going to cut squares out of this section. Hopefully it'll be big enough. If not, I will include some of the pockets. The first thing I need to do is measure my pillow foam. I did measure it to be 40 centimeters squared, and then I added seam allowance, and then I chose to ignore that seam allowance because I got all confuzzled when it comes to the sewing, so it probably won't be square. Huh, it's square. Okay, that's cool, that's good. This is good news. Now, do I have enough fabric? That is the question. I'm going to turn this inside out so I can make markings on the inside of the fabric this time. I'm calling this progress. It's curved, so I'm kind of ignoring this bit here, so I'll fold that under. It doesn't leave me with much, do it? Shh, don't tell anybody I'm using pen. So it's 2.5 centimeters for seam allowance. Kind of handy that I've got these stripes to just line everything up with. So that is that. And then I need 42 centimeters. Plan. These might work. Okay. I pinned together the neck opening, for some reason using safety pins, pants, so that I could actually lay the fabric out flat so that I would have a better idea of how much I actually have to use. And then I set about muttering to myself. 42. And after some finagling and a few emotional roller coasters, I thought I worked it out. Oh, okay. Realised I hadn't. Still not enough. And then threw caution to the wind and bet everything on the fact that pillows are squishy and I should really therefore be able to get away with a lot more than I probably should. Problems and solutions. The problem is I do not have enough fabric for a seam allowance top to bottom because the pockets get in the way. I do have enough lengthways. So what I'm going to do is just on this half, make it a tight fit. What I'm going to do on the back of this though, is to make this section to this section a couple of centimeters taller, so that way if I do have fit issues, at least I've got some extra fabric from the top. So it'll be shorter on the front panel but longer on the back panel, and hopefully that will just give me enough room to maneuver. What I'm going to do now is cut along here as close as I can to the panels, and then just cut the front panel as close as I can to the usable fabric along here. I'm going to cut between the seams here to give myself as much fabric as I can. Luckily, I'm able to use the stripes to cut along because finding a straight line on a half-assembled shirt, not easy. Okay, I've solved that. And yes, I do realise that 99% of my problems so far have come from using a shirt instead of new fabric, but, well, yeah. Okay, might just be doable. It does distort the gingham, doesn't it? It gives it a wavy gingham. Maybe that's the clips. I was going to tidy these ends up, but I'm going to leave them so I've got as much fabric as possible. So what I'm going to do, chop off these ends to the appropriate length, and then I'll get back to you. Somewhere here, there we go. So I've got my scrap piece of fabric and I'm just going to try out my overlocking stitch to make sure that I've actually got all the right settings, because I might need to change a needle or something. I'm hoping not, but we shall see. How do we get to overlock? Oh, jammed already. This is why I do test pieces, because I completely forgot how to set up for overlocking, so that was my first attempt. That was me trying to figure out what kind of width, etc. I wanted, and that is what I'm going for. I am going to overlock everything. Hopefully now I don't need to troubleshoot the machine, I won't need to access that, so I'm going to put this back on. This moment right here. That was the 7th jam. I had one more edge to do. I think I owed myself a mightier roar of frustration than this sore-throated frog of a cry. But that's what I could manage. Better now. Yeah. I got it to work in the end. I have no idea what was going wrong with it. I think I might have been trying to go too fast. Mostly I was hungry. Either way, it's overlocked. And now, I need to cut some Velcro. You may be wondering, why have you got 2 rolls of Velcro? It turns out that it's a sticky side and a grabby side. That is the whole story. I need to cut my strips of Velcro 3 centimeters less long. Shorter, that's the word. Dear me. 3 centimeters shorter than the opening of my entrance. I'm guessing that's for ease of turning out, or maybe making it less rigid on the corners. I'm not sure, because on an envelope cushion I've seen you go straight across, but that may be because it's going across the back, so I don't know. Gonna follow the instructions on this one and see what happens. This is quite pleasing. It's got its own little strip of Velcro to keep it shut. Here. Easily amused. I can see through it, that's handy. Do I have a similar system here? Yeah. Yep, same length. Cool. This is the bit where I try to remember which way is the opening. That way. So my next very important task that I need to do, I need to iron a seam about 2 centimeters on the end that I'm going to stick it to, and then fold that 2.5 centimeters in half again, and then iron that down. I didn't do any ironing of seams last time, so I'm gonna hopefully slowly build up my good habits. Right, now for some fiddly bits. Actually no, the fiddly bit's done. Badly, but the fiddly bit is done. But regardless of the state of my ironing, I now need to stick the Velcro to this, and I need to put one on the inside and one on the outside. I need to put it 1/2 centimeter-ish away from the edge. I'm going to put my first piece on the inside. I do need my scissors. About 1/2 centimeter, about a finger's width on either side. Cool. Oh, aye. Don't forget, Johanna, to put this on the outside of the force. Oh, Fraggle Rock. This is why you don't walk away from a project. What I decided to leave future me to say is that I'd ironed and measured the wrong edge, and therefore the Velcro was too short, which means I had to recut the Velcro and re-iron the edges. Not a big problem, but not one that past me felt like dwelling on. It also turned out that I probably should have just used the shorter Velcro. but I didn't know that at the time, so hindsight. It comes in 2020. That'll do nicely. I'm going to sew on the Velcro, making it extra secure by attempting the X in a box method, which should look something like this. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do that, but I'm going to try and do it because that should make it nice and secure, even if I have to zigzag a bit. I mean, the fabric may fray around it, but the Velcro will be in place. It turns out the machine hadn't magically fixed overnight, which is rude. It's gonna be one of those days. Okay, we take it slowly. And it is here that our Crafty Joe has entered the bargaining phase in the cycle of grief. Would you be happier with a longer stitch? Needless to say, it didn't work. I finished this not recording it because the machine kept jamming and I didn't quite know what was causing it, but I increased the tension dial and I increased the stitch length. I'm hoping the next one will be fine, because if it's not, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, and yeah, that is where the machine kept jamming on me, and all across here. Now, I have to do the other strip of Velcro. Wish me luck. Please be nice to your Joe. I read that if you have a finer fabric, you want a smaller stitch, and if you want a smaller stitch, you need a higher tension rate. I don't remember where I saw this, but it seems to have worked. I could have tried a smaller needle size, but I wasn't sure if I should do that for the Velcro. Here's me thinking it's getting away from me. I can stop. I can slow down. Yikes. Okay. It's a bit tricky sewing on Velcro because these fluffy bits seem to want to push you off course. It's a bit like you're driving in a car on an uneven camber with a side wind. So, not very neat. Now I'm going to try and do the box method and see what happens. Maybe I'll do it this time. Who knows? I mean, you can probably guess no, but you know, I'm going to try slowly. No. I should have just stuck to the wave. That's just terrible. Okay. It looks like... Yeah. Actually, you know what it does remind me of? Silly string. Nearly there, nearly there. I just need to sew the sides together now. The final stitch round. I folded the excess fabric over the Velcro and stitched it down to make it neater. I stitched the wrong side. So I unpicked it and then resewed it on the right side this time. Do we think it fits? Probably not. This is the fruit of my labour. I'm actually quite pleased with it because I thought while I was doing it, it was just gonna look absolute pants. It's not the neatest job in the world, but it's fine. I think the first thing I need to do is turn it the right way in. See what that looks like. There's something really quite satisfying about that. Get rid of all that. Kind of reminds me of a slice of toast. So yes, this is my toast. I quite like the fact that it folds over the top. If this works as a pillow cushion, I don't know how long it's going to last because at one point I forgot to backstitch and anyway, does it fit? Get in there. Okay. We'll have to play this game. I don't know how much you can see, but it's fighting. It fits. Look. Ah. I don't like the fact that it's got wings here, but other than that. Oh, actually, no, I do kind of like, look at that. He's got little ears. This is where my machine kept jamming, but you know, I don't really care because look, it's gingham. I really did not think this was gonna fit. I just thought it was gonna be one of those, hey, sometimes sewing doesn't go right type of things, but no, I'm squishing it. And there is no pull on the material. It looks fine. This is my first made-to-measure garment, I suppose. As long as I'm this squishy and giving, then I should be able to get clothes to fit too, right? Okay, so who's to seeing it in situ? This is the pride of place. Shing! Ah. Gonna go show my other half.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Thank you.
That looks a hell of a lot smaller than the cushion that you started with.
It was very, very tight on the fabric. He liked it. I like it. If you're an experienced sewer watching this, I can only apologise because I can only imagine it's a bit like a horror film to you, and either you're welcome or I'm sorry. Maybe you'd watch like that. If you're a beginner, I hope that coming across somebody else fumbling about and trying to fix mistakes that I have made has helped you in some way, and if not, I hope I was at least entertaining, and I will wish you farewell.